Hello everyone, it's me Jenny, and this is another review for the Hairy Movie Club, Mr HairyBrit's movie club, and link on screen and down below. And this week's pick was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and there's very little I could say about this film that hasn't been already very eloquently and delightfully stated in Robin Hood, Men in Tights. This film pretty much destroys almost every single subject of academia, at least at one point. It's geographically inaccurate, it's got some wonderful magical physics, it's got some crazy historical inaccuracies, and you know what? I still love it. I enjoy watching this film. I've watched it many times. I'd watch it again. It's a nice Sunday sort of relaxy time film. And for the time, it's one of the first Robin Hood adaptations that wasn't theatrical and pantomime-y. This was a very gritty, very adult, very realistic, ironically enough, adaptation of Robin Hood, where they had things like sexual content, racism, and a very gritty, cynical, dark sort of feel to it, which is, you know, nowadays I look at this film and I think this film is ridiculously silly and incredibly inaccurate, but in comparison to the very pantomime adaptations before this, this was very gritty and realistic and sinister. And I really like that in a way. There are some odd character choices throughout this. Kevin Costner, occasionally his English accent is very bad. I like Morgan Freeman's character as a very straight-laced, straight man sort of character who's able to point out the fact that Kevin Costner just ate a bucket full of sand and is splashing around in the sea, but apparently has to walk 100 miles on foot in the course of 12 hours. And I like that. He's that sort of character, although he is apparently magical when it comes to medicine, because there's no way that someone would be able to survive that treatment without any sort of antiseptic and antibiotics. But, you know, it's magical. I like Maid Marian. I have mixed feelings about, again, how her character is treated. We've been watching a lot of films recently which have sexual violence. I like the fact that she is active. During that sequence, she isn't just submissive, she is fighting back, and she does, you know, candle wax to the chest, and, you know, she is an active participator. But again, there are some things that just don't make sense for her character choice. Like, when you first meet her, she's, you know, being a badass female, but think about it, the fact that her maid is also a badass female, wouldn't it be more logical to stay on top of the balcony and let her maid take out the possible rogue rather than risking getting her hand burnt? There's a lot of character choices in this that don't quite make sense, but I still enjoy it, and it's silly. There's some fun continuity errors if you think about the time scale of this as well. Not just historical inaccuracies, but things like Duncan's eyes are still covered in blood, even though apparently it's been 4 months since the father got attacked, and then he got put on trial briefly, but it's been at least a while since Duncan got his eye removed. Why are his eyes still bloody? You know, he's apparently been living in an empty castle with no roof because the roof's been burnt out and he still has bloody eyes. It doesn't quite make sense to me, but you know what, it's still fun. I would very much recommend watching this film in conjunction with Robin Hood Men in Tights, because they are just such good companion pieces. I get so much more enjoyment from this film having seen Robin Hood Men in Tights, and you really don't understand what Robin Hood Men in Tights is about without having seen this film first. So I'd really recommend watching this film and then watching Robin Hood Men in Tights, because it's hilarious. The song in this, which I think a lot of people are going to talk about, is one of those songs which in itself does get a little bit repetitive, and it is always on the radio. Or at least it feels like it, because it is a long song and it's one of those classic ballads. I think I actually kind of enjoy it because it's very rare nowadays. I think the last film that I saw which actually had a musical theme running throughout that got manipulated into the background of each scene, but had lyrics to it in the end, was Lana Del Rey's Will You Still Love Me When I'm Young and Beautiful from the Great Gatsby film, which is so beautifully and subtly edited in as a theme So like they'll manipulate it to make it jazzy, or they'll manipulate it to make it something else. Enough about that song. But I really like the fact that this isn't just a lyricked song all the way through. It is just the lyrical part of the music that plays throughout, so you really get a strong connection to each sequence, and you know when it's a romance scene because it's that theme, and it's very thematic and it's nice. So all in all, this is not a perfect film. It was pretty good for its time. The production value, it's stunning, just the sets and the slow motion, the fire effects, the costumes, the fact that they managed to get the cast that they got, who, you know, apart from Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman, are basically not so popular, but you know, you can tell they've really worked hard to get a really, really good cast. And the production value is very good. It was a very good adaptation for the time, and I will continue to watch it again and again and again. And I love the fact that the witch is Miss Marple. That is magical to me. You know, if you don't know who Miss Marple is, don't worry, but that just makes my heart happy. And I won't mention Hans Gruber, but you know, it's funny to me as well. And that's about it. I will see you guys all next week, and possibly, I don't know, we'll see what the pick is. And either way, I will see everyone soon. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. Bye guys.